we're all in this together and let's solve these issues and get to the bottom of things and do better. To make the same mistake twice is silly. Why not adjust? Why not get better? I kind of want to summarize what all we did this week, because it was another interesting, busy week. A lot more of the same and a lot of new stuff. Quite a few leads, so we're talking to a few more prospective customers. We had a great second meeting with that manufacturing company. And oftentimes is the case with a big decision like IT, it's not a vendor that you replace every 3 months. It's a vendor that you might look every 3 or 5 years to replace. And she just kind of needed that reaffirmation, tell me again, how does this look? What does onboarding look like? When I finally make this decision, reassure me that everything's gonna be okay and you guys have my back on this. And yes, we do, right? And that's the difference. So we walked her through onboarding, we walked her through what the transition looks like. I think a lot of people have it in their mind that it is challenging or there's a lot to do. There's a lot of work to do, certainly, but it's on our side. And there's not much that customer or client has to interface. We need a few things from them and then we're off to the races and making things happen. And 99% of the time, nothing burns down and everything's okay. We got 2 other leads. One of my favorite ones is always when it's somebody that I met with a year, 2, 3 years ago, kind of coming back full circle. This was about a year ago. They're now looking again, and I can only assume, that they had struggle or challenges with that current vendor. They're looking to us again, and they were full clear. They said, your pricing was a little bit higher. And that can be true because we're more of an all-inclusive shop. We're literally covering everything, including their projects, alongside of what everybody knows and wants, which is help desk, somebody to answer the phone and take care of those issues. Another prospective client in the municipality police department realm. We do a ton of work with local villages and municipalities. Sometimes we're taking care of not only the village hall and public works, but also the police departments, the fire departments. We do a lot of work with them. This is someone in that similar industry, got our name as well, and we'll have a meeting with them to talk what we do. Franklin 5 call this week with the 5 best IT companies on the planet. One of our guys had an awesome cybersecurity lunch and learn last week in Dallas. NBC News actually showed up. He had a few of our vendors involved. They ended up getting 20 appointments out of that work. So we kind of debriefed on how he was able to do that in his business and then looking to see if we can do that in ours. Another one of our guys is doing a cybersecurity symposium, so he'll talk on panels, and we kind of discussed ins and outs and strategies on that. Also had a captain's call for that, where again, we're preparing for our Nashville trip. So in the next 2 weeks, the 5 of us all get together with the 1,000 other IT business owners in Nashville for a conference, talking about the different speakers and breakout sessions and all the different things that we're interested in to see, and then as well as what are we gonna do as a group of the 5, 6 of us. What kind of topics do we need to deep dive into and help each other out with? Because the biggest things that we get out of that is, hey, here's what I learned, don't do it, or hey, this is what we've got rocking and rolling, it's awesome, and how can I share it with you so that you can benefit from it too? 3L meeting this week. A lot of follow-up on the things that we've been putting in play for the last few weeks. Hiring is a big thing over the next week. We're gonna bring in a few more for interviews for this new account management role. We have another technical person that I believe we're going to be bringing in. And then, as always, cybersecurity, not only for us, but also for the clients. Truth be told, we hold the keys to the castle for all of our 80+ clients. And if our house isn't secure, then there's a potential for issues down the line. And Department of Homeland Security came out with a bulletin that specifically said we are seeing MSPs being targeted by foreign countries and things like this. So, make sure you guys are doing this bullet list of items. Over the last few months to a year, we've done all of that work and we continue to watch it. This week, we interviewed a company to do a third-party security audit on us from the outside to ensure that we're secure first and foremost as we secure our clients. Over the last few years, some of those big name companies were in the headlines. Quite a few of them were due to very simple things that they just were not following. Simple best practices in the industry. One, where all of our credit card data was leaked from a big retail home improvement store. Their issue was all of their POS systems, their terminals that they were running all of our credit cards through, were older Windows XP machines, which was an absolute no-no because those had been end-of-lifed, is the industry term, but told, hey, you got to get rid of these. That particular company didn't do that work in time. The bad guys got into those leaky workstations, so to speak, and all of our credit card data was stolen, just as simple as that. One of the other most common things of that big news breach stuff over the last few years was patching. Something as simple, and this has been a best practice in the industry for the last 5 or 10 years, is Windows, Java, Adobe, everybody publishes updates and patches. And you should get into a habit and a cadence of patching on a weekly or at worst a monthly basis. Malicious activity with CryptoLocker a few years ago was all due to not patching in time. It was 2 or 3 months after Microsoft had released the patch. We all came into work, the news was spreading, had us a little bit like worried, what's going on, what is it due to? It was due to a patch that had been released 3 months earlier. We patched it the following Tuesday. All of our clients were safe, no issues, whereas the rest of the industry was in a panic because of something as simple as patching. Another big push for hiring for us, we've realized that we have kind of a new role that we're going to create in account management. Oftentimes our larger customers have, we want to put together for them technology budgets, looking at technology on a 3-year, not only what we do for them, but new hardware, new software, whatever they might need. And really, instead of someone, one of our engineers going out there and handling that with the customer, we believe we can bring in an account management role. Not only that, but they can also continue to sell hardware and renewals and things like that on an ongoing basis. We want to put another person in our help desk bench on-site role because we're rolling so much new hardware. Last month again, 74 new workstations. We should hit a solid clip again this month, and we have to continue that work over the next 12 months because of the January 2020 Windows 7 has to go. In addition, we're leveling up one of our, kind of our tiers of support is instant support group, the guys that answer the phones, take care of the tickets right away and quickly, given the name, and then we have our help desk role. They're more of the level 2 or the more ongoing or longer projects. We're actually gonna, promote someone from ISG, we call it, up to help desk, and then we'll bring in a new person to kind of fill that ISG void as well. Early on, when we only had a few staff, everybody answered the phone, everybody answered tickets. There was no real departments or different layers, right? Well, it became the phone would ring so constantly that it was hard to, I'm trying to focus on this and the phone's ringing, I've got to go to that. So that's where we kind of did a divide and conquer. We created the instant support group, maintain that we will answer the phones every day, all day. When somebody calls, we want to take care of that issue quickly. A lot of places, if you call them, you're getting an auto attendant. Press 2 for support, press 3 for sales, all that kind of stuff. All day, every day, we are answering the phones, including after hours. If one of our clients needs us and it is Friday at 7 p.m., one of this team will answer that phone and take care of that issue for them. Life coach call was kind of quick and simple this week, a little bit of follow-up from last week, but just kind of the realization and the reminder, that everything in life is practice, right? And so when you're struggling with something, or if you set a goal, New Year's resolution is a classic example. Most people mess up. They miss the mark, they don't get it done, and then they give up completely. And that's the part where you gotta remind yourself, no, I'm practicing this. I just need to go to baseball practice once a week and try again. And if you miss a week, that's okay, get back on it. So everything in life is a practice. Friday weekly team meeting, as always. Again, we list out the issues that we saw during the week and we solve them, we fix them, and we do so as a group. It's not me dictating or someone, claiming this is the way it has to be. We have a discussion if it needs it. We come up with a solution that's best for everybody, including the clients, and then we adjust accordingly. There's a structure. It's going over our numbers for the week. Did we miss the mark? Did we, were we late on something? Did we not take care of something in the best possible fashion? So everyone has their numbers and their goals that we're reviewing. Then we drill into, hey, these were the issues for the week, and everybody has a vote on this. Hey, I noticed something or somebody else noticed something, they'll put it in for the agenda on the Friday team meeting. And then we deep dive into all that stuff. And I suppose that the buy-in or the hope is that, look, we're all in this together and let's solve these issues and get to the bottom of things and do better. Because to make the same mistake twice is silly, right? Why not adjust? Why not get better? And then we do things as a team too. It's community, what events are we doing? What is new for us? We talked a lot this meeting about the new HR platform, a new app that the team will have for not only HR stuff, employee reviews, but their payroll, their benefits information, and then towards the end of the year, a new 401k plan to get everybody excited about that. That's more of the internal business of the team and what we're doing there. There's not a lot of organizations having a daily, a weekly, a monthly, they may have goals and a vision, but it's kind of just like, hey, we got to hit X million, we got to do this much, and it's just kind of thrown out there. We really have a few different cadences. There's a stand-up meeting every morning where the technical team gets together. Hey, this is what's hot, this is what's brewing, this is what we need to take care of. And they do that first thing every morning. Then we have our weekly team meeting. Throughout that process, we're really operating on a quarterly or a 12-week cadence to say, hey, these are the bigger ticket things that we need to address this quarter or implement or improve. And then next quarter, we'll do the same thing as well. And then that helps us, those 12-week sprints, 4 times a year, gets us to 365 days. And that's the full year. And when you can do that, you move quickly, you change quickly, and then you really nail your goals. It's not December 15th and everyone's scrambling going, oh my God, what did we do this year? Had a really informative webinar with Kevin Mitnick. I had met him a few years back. He's a world famous hacker who the feds actually put in jail for his prior work. Now focuses on good business. Companies hire his company to try and breach them, to try and hack them, to find their vulnerabilities and their issues before the bad guys actually do. And it is astonishing how he goes about their work, calling an end user or a customer and pretending to be somebody you're not via the phone. The internet has a ton of information on us via LinkedIn and everywhere else, so you can quickly find out kind of the nuts and bolts or the ins and outs of an organization, and you could craft some interesting emails or make an interesting phone call, and very quickly you gain people's trust a little bit, maybe too quickly, and then because he abuses that, then they are able to get into things. So seeing what is going on in the industry, what the bad guys are doing based on what Kevin does in his business, just as a learning thing for us to, again, educate our clients or adapt what we're doing here and looking at what the bad guys are up to. What I've started to say to clients is whenever money's involved, get super skeptical. Verify everything. Make a phone call, double check, because you just have to be cautious with what's going on.